Hello, everyone. Chris Hislop here from the Montana World Affairs Council, and this is another episode of What, So What, Now What, where we connect you with an international expert on the issue of the day, and in just 5 short minutes, you become the expert. I'm really happy to share with you today's expert. It's Lauren Collins, and she's an assistant teaching professor and faculty director of Asian Studies at Colorado University, Boulder. She's lived and worked in Japan, Taiwan, China, and Macau, and led study tours for teachers and students throughout East and Southeast Asia. She's been affiliated with the National Consortium for Teaching About Asia since 2008. Lauren, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Well, we couldn't be happier to have somebody with your expertise and experience and the kind of length and breadth of your study to come on to help us understand an issue that keeps coming up and up and up over and over, not the least of which is currently regarding the global supply chain issues. But Lauren, I wonder if you could help our viewers understand a little bit better the China Belt and Road Initiative, particularly its impact in Africa.
Great. Thank you so much for having me. So for viewers who aren't familiar with the Belt and Road Initiative, this is basically China's signature vision for reshaping how it engages globally. It is a strategic and comprehensive plan, and it is an essential part of the CCP's overall efforts to achieve what they call national rejuvenation and restoring China as a great power. They're all over Africa these days, building railways, bridges, ports, working in mineral extraction, and doing a lot of investment. The Belt and Road Initiative was announced in fall 2013, shortly after Xi Jinping assumed power. And he proposed building a land-based Silk Road economic belt extending from China through Central Asia, South Asia to the Middle East, and eventually to Europe, as well as a 21st century maritime Silk Road connecting China to Southeast Asia, the Middle East, and Africa via major shipping lanes.
So Lauren, China's been on the news and on our radar on a number and a range of issues recently, but Africa isn't always on our radar on issues like this. Why does this Belt and Road Initiative, as it affects Africa, why does that matter to us?
Yeah, and I'm glad you asked this question because I think China's investments through the Belt and Road Initiative, and particularly in Africa, are a great example of the difficulty of Western commentators to understand and look at what China is doing. So often you hear a lot of skepticism and critiques in US media about the fact that China is investing in Africa and perhaps doing so for nefarious reasons. So a lot of the rhetoric describes this as an effort to gain political and diplomatic influence. There's a critique that these projects are designed to lock Africa into what's called debt diplomacy because China is providing large-scale loans to African national governments and communities for infrastructure development and resource extraction. So according to this narrative, China is providing this funding to really gain influence, and this becomes a concern for the United States.
So at least from the perspective of China, this initiative has a kind of long-term vision. It is maybe delivering things now, but certainly there's a vision for this to deliver in the future. So looking ahead, Lauren, what kind of things might we see vis-a-vis the Belt and Road Initiative, particularly regarding Africa?
Yeah, so this brings up the counter narrative of what the People's Republic of China would describe as their rationale, as well as the reason that African governments and communities are engaging with Chinese investors. So the goal of these projects is to actually allow industries in sub-Saharan African countries to flourish, to not only develop the infrastructure to adequately extract resources, but also to move them from the location where they're produced to a major shipping port to then enter the global market. So China's investments in Africa are helping ports develop, building roads, creating energy pipelines, as well as building power plants. And these developments are really needed to help these countries gain additional economic purchasing power and levels of development.
It's an extraordinary initiative, an extraordinary platform, a very ambitious goal. And I often tell people that when I was working in East Africa, stories of being deep in the bush and seeing Chinese road building crews, in far-flung places doing the work of this Belt and Road Initiative. So the impact I think we're seeing now, and certainly we will see in the future. Lauren, thank you so much for lending us your perspective on this really important issue. Let me also quickly thank our very generous sponsors that help us bring programs like these to you every day. That's the Dennis and Phyllis Washington Foundation, Allegiance, and Stockman Bank. So there you go. I hope this was the best 5 minutes you spent today. Certainly it was mine. Lauren, thank you so much. To all the viewers, thanks a lot for coming. I hope to see you all again soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.